Here today we have Andrew, who's probably in a company that's one of the most advanced agilistas in the region, by far, if I may say so, with no humbleness involved. And let's just kick off with a couple of words about yourself, about what this dream of Teletronics is, and how you see Agile in the Middle East, how it's been evolving from the early days to where it is now, because you're one of the most distinguished, if I may say so.
Appreciate that, but we just try our best. That's what we can say. So yeah, I work with Teletronics. We're out here, we're doing smart technologies for the government. We like to see the government as our clients, but really anyone who wants to think about smart technologies. We have a lot of guys obviously from Denmark, but we employ from all over the world. Very high level caliber software engineer normally, and that requires a lot of trust. When you start hiring people who are PhD levels, you should probably let them run a little bit of what's happening. So Agile was a natural fit for us.
Cool. And your org structure is quite interesting.
In the fact that we don't have one.
Precisely. So, I mean, that's quite... Yeah, tell us about that, and how does that org structure help you be flexible in this VUCA, volatile, uncertain reality that we live in?
Sure. So there's a guy called Torben, and he's kind of the boss, but he not really kind of manages the office. What we've done is we've said, right, each team gets a certain level of commitment to the client directly, and then they just speak to the client, and they manage it from there. Once in a while, if you need help or you need some guidance, come in, speak to Torben, speak to me, speak to one of the guys who've been there, and that's how it works. There's no real structure behind it. So for example, I came in as a product owner, and then they found out I could maybe sell some things, and so I went out of the product owner role and did that instead. So it's not really a promotion or a way forward in the org structure or anything else like that. All it is just moving you into different groups and areas. What we've found is when we've tried to control and maintain, we've been very, very slow at delivering because there's just too many people in the way. And so when you just leave the team to manage it, we find it's much, much faster.
It's a bit like that book, Drive. It says just get out of people's way.
Absolutely get out of people's way.
And they often say, you know, in this age of Agile, Steve Benning's new book, this whole point of a more fluid organizations. I mean, it seems like you're quite fluid in org structure, in roles.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact is when you have over 50 people working in your environment, you're going to notice that no matter what you do, certain piece of information is always going to go through different people, right? And so one guy, he might not be where you think he is, will know more about some part of subject matter. So this aspect of neural networking kind of. And so we look at our organization more like a neural network. And so, okay, here's the challenges, guys. Who knows more about this? Throw it up in the air, and then 3 or 4 people will grab it. And then they'll take it from there, and they'll always know more about it than you will. It's a passion, right? It drives the technology, and it drives what they do.
And I suppose it also has a bigger impact on sales and profitability of the organization. Often, I like to say, you know you're being agile if it's twice the work in half the time.
Yes.
To quote Jeff Sutherland, but does that apply? Do you actually feel it and see it?
So we've recently gone from being part of a government arm company to a private company. And that meant trying to find contracts, like independent contracts that would cover 60-odd expat people here in Dubai. So you can imagine that's quite a large amount. We did that in 3 months, and I'm the only sales guy they have. Now, I'd like to say it's all me, but that's not the fact. It's everybody coming together saying, well, actually, let's go to these sales meetings, let's speak to these people, let's show them what we're capable of. And they've signed on the dotted line every time. So,
and this comes back to the Copernicus model of the customer is at the center.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just define what that means, because many companies say, oh yeah, we're customer focused, but it's blah, blah, blah. There's a quantum shift.
Yeah. So we've had to be customer first from the very beginning, right? So when we were brought here, for the specific purpose of building one specific thing for one specific customer. So everything revolved around that to begin with. So it was a little easier for us. But what we found is you can go the product route. So we have a box of products, and do you want that? But then you just end up trying to convince people of something they don't necessarily know they want. It's better if you go and say, we've done these for these people. What are your problems? Tell us the kinds of issues that you have. And it sounds blasé, but that is literally what we say. And it seems to open people up quite nicely.
And have you gone into this domain of the contracts when we talk about agile contracts? So it's all about value. So someone would normally say in this part of the world, hey, can you do this product for us? And how long will it take? And you'll say, well, I don't know until we know the velocity. And so how does that affect the contracts that you're selling?
So I sell multiple contracts. From that end, I've done time and material. That's easy. We turn around. It's very, especially in this part of the world, it's like, okay, we need 5 guys. They're named resources, and they're going to work 40 hours a week. Generally, people get on board with that. It's kind of weird. The value thing, the best type of contract I've sold is, okay, for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be building, we'll get this part for you.
Yeah.
And after that, you can decide if you want to go on or choose someone else.
Good.
And we're very specific about the kind of technologies we use. So we build extremely advanced AI learning things, but we do it all from open source.
Yeah.
We do that because, one thing, it's potentially cheaper, but we don't own any of it. The customer does. Yeah. Which means they can choose to go away or stay with us. And I'd say 9 times out of 10, they've chosen to stay with us for that reason.
And that's interesting because it now puts you outside of your comfort zone. Because
Yes.
most contracts try and lock you in and all this stuff here. But you're saying, hey, if you don't like me, it's all here.
Yeah, absolutely. Pick someone else. Like, right, so the thing is, when you really put the customer at the center, it's not about selling him or locking him into the product. It's about actually helping him out with his problem. And we're like I said, we're 60-odd people here in the country. We know about software. We know about this technology. And so if we're not the right fit, we know who is.
Perfect.
And so we help them with that.
And for teams which are not co-located, do you have any of these sort of challenges? Especially if the customer's not located on site. And how do you manage that? Or what's your tip?
Oh, wow. That's on the spot. Co-located teams, if at all possible, don't do it. We have co-located teams with some. We have some guys in Denmark that work together. And they're very, very good. The real magic there is actually saying to the team members, right, you know, we've got in this country, we've got from Sunday to Thursday. Can you guys maybe work those times as well? Because the customer's in Sunday to Thursday time zones. Can we do that? And so we got Danish guys getting up really early in the morning and, you know, and working on a Sunday, for example. So that really helped as well. But generally speaking, just bite the bullet and jump into it. You have to do it. Oh, and good coaches. Yeah. Really good coaches.
Yeah. And what makes a great Agile coach, an internal thing? Because my advice to companies is, yeah, Ed, we want to work with you, all the rest of it. Yeah, that's cool, whatever, but you want to do this yourself. Yeah. Right? So how do you get them to grow themselves organically?
So, again, my experience is probably very different for yours. My experience is different customer to customer, but mostly you want to be able to get them to realize that they're people that are working with them. And that sounds kind of, there's an organic understanding and an organic growth to team development and product development. Yep. You want the coolest, the fastest, the best product in the world. You need the coolest, the fastest, the best people to do it. You need to nurture that team. That means asking, finding out how they are, making sure that it's comfortable. Don't go overboard, but, you know, making sure it's down there.
Show that you give it down.
Yeah, you have to show you give it down. Otherwise, and you can't fake it. No. Faking giving it down means nothing happens.
I think that's the power, like Arnie was saying about the power of the daily huddle, is this eye-to-eye thing. Right?
Exactly, it's everything.
I can only lie to you or hide things for X amount of time, but soon.
And good coaches are great at asking annoying questions, which really break that pattern. Yeah. So you can be in a conversation with someone like me who's like, oh yeah, I didn't sell that feature, and then you can ask the right questions, and oh Andrew, you sold that feature, why? You know, that kind of thing. And then we're in the good place, right? Cool. It's painful. The truth about Agile is it's painful. You got to be honest. It's got to hurt, and then you can do well.
And let's finish with that, because everyone's talking about agile transformations at the moment. A transformation, like we saw in that earlier presentation, is a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Yes. How would you define the difference between change and transformation, specifically in this agile? So I'm gonna be a little bit offbeat here. I know it's very popular. I was out at Agile in Atlanta and Orlando a couple of years as well. And they were talking a lot about the transformation. And we're in the middle of our transformation. I'm like, how do you measure that? Exactly. You know, the whole point of Agile is once you're great at it, you can stop. No, that means you're not Agile. Yep. So change is constant. Transformation assumes there's some sort of end point. There is no end point. The minute you stop being able to move quickly, and you can always put your customer more centric, you can always work better with your teams, that's being Agile. Yep. Whether you use Scrum or Kanban or anything else, that's your business. Yep. But being Agile means being able to maneuver around these things quickly, handling change properly. So that's what it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.